Costa Rica has a great variety of plants and an abundance of plants, and you can buy them at nurseries, and sometimes you can salvage them from sites that are being developed, and sometimes friends share cuttings with you. This is Charmel and Grecia sharing information about moving to Costa Rica. Welcome back to the channel. So I was so dismayed about the loss of trees when the east wing of the White House was suddenly demolished without warning. And some of those trees were more than 100 years old. All of those trees were significant, but they were bulldozed. 6 trees were flattened, and some of those trees had been planted by former presidents and some by former first ladies. Several magnolias were planted to honor President Warren G. Harding and Franklin D. Roosevelt. One was planted by First Lady Florence Harding in 1922, and they were just beautiful and huge. A more recent one was planted by Jill Biden. It was a cherry tree that was planted with Japan's First Lady 2 years ago when she was visiting. So that cherry tree was planted as a sign of cooperation between the two countries, the United States and Japan. It was bulldozed and flattened and demolished. And so was the Jacqueline Kennedy garden. All of that was flattened and wiped out to make way for a huge gilded ballroom, which in my opinion is in very poor taste, especially while the government is shut down. And so many people are suffering because of that government shutdown. The government shutdown has just added to the suffering of so many people in the United States. And really, I just couldn't find any reason for those trees to be demolished other than petty jealousy over previous presidents being honored, or actions by previous first ladies who were doing wonderful things for God's good and perfect creation. So nothing about bulldozing those trees reflects any reverence for God's natural world. So I just found it very upsetting, and so my therapy to deal with it was to go out and buy some trees and some plants to honor previous first ladies and previous presidents. Now, when I go back home to the United States soon, I will plant at least one more tree if I can find time to honor previous first ladies and previous presidents. But right here on this landing outside my apartment, I planted several things today, some of which I found at a nursery. The big spiky thing is called a, it's called a Madagascar dragon tree. And it actually came from my friend Sandra's house. She lives in Naranjo, which is nearby. She's from Malibu, and they've been developing some of the property around her, and so she's been saving some of the plants and trees. And so 2 of these spiky, what are they called? They're called Madagascar dragon trees, and they will actually grow into rather large trees if I keep repotting them and in bigger pots and allow them to grow. But they came from her house. Now the big, it's a mangrove fan palm, also will grow to be very, very large. It will be a tree, a full-size tree, if I keep repotting it and allowing it to grow. Some of the other things here, there's a bougainvillea. I love bougainvilleas, and it will have beautiful purple maroon flowers. There are two plants called crotons, C-R-O-T-O-N-S, which will get pretty big, the size of some trees, at least a small tree. I also got a New Guinea impatient, which I divided up into two pots. I also, let's see, what else did I get today? I'm not sure that I got anything else today, but I need to transplant several Aurora borealis plants, and a neighbor gave me some cuttings from her Aurora borealis. I have a polka dot begonia that I really, really like, and some other plants. I also have a very small lantana that I saved when the landscapers here in my neighborhood were pulling out or cutting back a bunch of lantana, and I saved some of the little berries and put them in soil, and at least one of them is growing and blooming, so I'll have a lantana in a pot on my balcony. Those really attract pollinators, butterflies especially, so I'm looking forward to that. So some of these are going to go to my balcony. Right now they're on this landing outside my front door next to the elevator, and I've got to move some of them before my neighbor Ricardo gets home, because he's going to think I've lost my mind when he sees all these plants. He has some plants out here, but nothing like this. So I'm going to move some to the balcony. However, on the balcony, things will get full sun quite a bit. Now, some of the instructions on some of these plants say partial sun, so they'll do great, like on this landing. And some say full sun, but full sun in Costa Rica is different from full sun in other places, so I'll have to watch them carefully and see how they do. So if you have additional information, please put it in the comments section. Anything about growing plants in pots in Costa Rica, you know, there's just so much of the natural world. Just everywhere you look, seeds just drop and plants just grow, and it's just really lush and green. So it's fun to add some things to your outdoor living space, on your balconies and on your landing. And I just think that it's so much more beautiful than any additional room or any piece of furniture or any knickknack that you can put in your house. Plants are just really a beautiful part of living in Costa Rica or anywhere in the world. Pura vida, ciao.